It seems like WWE is ready to press the reset button. And of course, with WrestleMania 37 being 2 nights this year, just like last year, with over 25,000 fans in attendance due to COVID-19, WWE is planning something big. And it got me thinking, because when you look at this card, there's a couple big names missing. And I've been talking to people and I've been suggesting that maybe Brock Lesnar can confront Drew McIntyre. Because if you guys didn't know, Drew McIntyre and Lashley is going to open up night 1. So of course, maybe with Bianca and Sasha main eventing to send the fans home happy, maybe we'll get a situation where Drew McIntyre defeats Bobby Lashley and then Brock Lesnar returns. Maybe, that could be a really cool surprise. But nonetheless, WWE is here full of surprises. And it got me thinking, with so many people not on this card, what is WWE planning to do? And there was one name in particular that I think a lot of people have been thinking about lately. A lot of people have been talking about this person lately. But we haven't seen this individual on the card. We haven't seen this individual mentioned by WWE. And it got me thinking. I started doing some research, and it looks like WWE is bringing this person back in a massive way. And we're going to talk about that in just a moment. My name is Ango. This is Destination Pro Wrestling. This is very, very simple, guys. I like to talk about pro wrestling. Whatever topics and news are out there, I like to put my own touch on it, talk about my feelings and opinions. And I get some comments from you guys, and you're like, oh, you're a nobody. Hey, man, I don't know why you're looking for these kind of videos then, right? My goal is to communicate and interact with wrestling fans who also like pro wrestling. And I have a platform where I can talk about it and interact with you guys, and that's an amazing thing. So I'm very, very excited because with WrestleMania 37, I really feel like this is going to be a big deal. And the person returning, man, it's exciting. It's exciting. And there's a reason why, because I think there's actually 2 major surprise returns coming, and I cannot wait to talk about that. But first, you guys got to hit up my newsletter. I got a newsletter. It's in the description down below. And if you guys click on the newsletter, honestly, it's free. It doesn't cost you a penny. So there's really no excuse as to why you don't do this. I've seen a lot of responses and stuff. I'm trying my best to respond to everybody. This is like literally me personally using it. But all the news and rumors and stuff like that I don't cover on the channel, or things I cover on the channel, it's posted on the newsletter. And freebies, free t-shirts, things like that. I'm hooking people up. So definitely check that out. That's in the description. Also, you guys can support the channel for $4.99 a month. You guys already know how that works. So go ahead and click the join button if you guys want to do that. Some major things are coming to this channel as well, by the way. So make sure you guys stay tuned. But I don't want to talk about the channel. I want to talk about Becky Lynch. But there's another surprise that we're going to talk about in just a second. Okay, so Becky Lynch is rumored to show up at WrestleMania 37. Whether it's day 1 or day 2, nobody really knows. It sounds like this could potentially happen on day 2, or night 2, I should say. And the reason being is because there looks to be some other major surprises on night 1. Nonetheless, however, WWE books these surprises. Becky Lynch coming back from pregnancy, Becky Lynch coming back, period. It's a big deal because WWE is missing some star power. Obviously, because WWE is missing star power, it's very important that WWE really sends the fans home happy after WrestleMania 37. So from what it sounds like, Becky Lynch will be making a massive return at WrestleMania 37. Long entranceway. She might be pulling up in a big truck, maybe even a monster truck, something very, very decked out, something very cool, maybe even a semi-truck. I mean, there's literally lots of possibilities here. But of course, Bayley is not on the card. So it sounds like WWE is going to do a very small segment, maybe with Bayley in the ring doing her talk show, whatever it may be. And it sounds like she'll be interrupted by Becky Lynch. But that's not where this stops. And in just a moment, I'm going to talk about surprise number 2. That could be very, very shocking. That could very well also happen. That is also rumored to happen. And there was some stuff that I've seen on Twitter that suggests that this can happen and why this should happen. And I just had to share it with you guys. But Becky Lynch returning is obviously huge for business. Now, where does Becky Lynch go from here, Raw or SmackDown? I'm going to assume SmackDown. And of course, WWE is in a very tricky spot because they also need some star power for Raw. So there is one more name that hasn't been on TV for a long time. But there's one more name that should be returning soon. And that's Ronda Rousey. Yep, Ronda Rousey. Guys, there is a huge possibility Ronda Rousey can also crash the party. That way, we're going to see a dynamic between Rousey, Becky, and Bayley. I've seen somebody suggest that there could be a potential 1 year in advance storyline, right? Where Becky and Ronda Rousey build towards a main event match at WrestleMania 38 in Dallas. And that would make sense. In the meantime, keep Becky on SmackDown, have her feud with Bayley. Ronda Rousey could join in on the fun. And most importantly, Ronda Rousey can go to Raw. And you're asking, why would WWE do this? Well, right now, WWE is desperate for Raw to be as successful as SmackDown. SmackDown's the A show. And yes, Ronda Rousey being on SmackDown might make the most sense. But if Becky's on there with Bayley, then Ronda's got to be on the opposite brand. At least that's what I think. But the idea is they could be on separate brands. This definitely gives them time to build towards a match for next year's WrestleMania, and you could do it 1 year in the making. That's some pretty big, massive returns. And let's just be realistic here. It's not going to be easy for WWE to pull it off because anything long-term right now, it's very difficult with COVID and how this pandemic is going. The rumors that I've heard is that WWE plans on having fans at the 4 big pay-per-views, and otherwise they'll just be in the Thunderdome. And for Ronda Rousey and Becky and Brock Lesnar and some of these big, massive names, John Cena, you're probably not going to utilize them in the Thunderdome. What WWE did at WrestleMania 36 was so massive, it was so important, but that was because it was the beginning of the pandemic. Until things really get straightened out, at that point, it's going to be very, very interesting to see how it goes. But of course, yeah, Becky Lynch, Ronda Rousey, and Bayley, that's something I'm all excited about. And if I don't look excited, trust me when I tell you I'm excited. Look, WWE is in a very, very pivotal stage right now. Like, they are trying to do whatever they can to get the younger audience and to get a newer audience. People forgot that Ronda Rousey's even in WWE. So this is a great time. You have Bad Bunny, you have Logan Paul, Ronda Rousey, Becky Lynch. I mean, trust me when I tell you guys, big, big names like that is what's needed. And whether you agree or not, that's up to you. But I would distance Becky Lynch from Seth Rollins on TV. That's first and foremost. And this is a way you can kind of do all of that. So I want to know what you guys think in the comment section down below. 2 huge major surprise returns for WrestleMania 37. My name is Ango. This is Destination Pro Wrestling, and I'll see you guys next time.